Okay, good evening, good evening, good evening. We want to welcome you to the Opulent Wine Cast. We do our podcast and our interviews, and especially over here at Opulent, we make time to showcase our amazing members and all that they're doing. So, let me introduce myself. My name is Mahisa Green. I am the mental motivator and also the COO of Opulent Lady Business Association, Forever Opulent Boutique, and now our newest venture, which is the Opulent Executive Business Center. So, I am so happy to be here to get back started, right? With our podcast and showcasing all the amazing people that we have. And today I'll be interviewing three of our members back to back. And so we won't keep you here long, but we want to know all about you and what do you do and anything extra that you want the audience to know. So again, I'm introducing myself, Mahisa Green. I am here with the infamous Daronda McDuffie. I am not going to even try to explain or tell you what she does. I think she can do that herself. So, with no further ado, Deronda, let us know who you are. You on mute.
It
There we go.
happens, right? It happens.
Yes, it does.
So
It happens to
I'm
the best of
ecstatic
us.
about about being here. Thank you for that lovely intro. I appreciate you all, and I'm so excited for what you all have going on. Just phenomenal. Like they say, phenomenal woman. That's you, right? And so I'm excited about being here. If I could say anything to motivate somebody else to just jump in, feet first, head first, whichever way you swim, right? Find
Mm,
your largest ocean of opportunity and jump full speed ahead. That's exactly what I did when I found myself 3 months pregnant. I said, oh, I'm going to open up a home daycare. Lost the baby at 4 months after I had gone through all the classes, prepped the house, and I said, Lord, what am I going to do? So I said, well, shucks, you type fast as I don't know what. How about you just start offering your typing services to some lawyers? Well, I had just taken
mm.
desktop publishing at work through the Department of Agriculture. I said, well, I'm going to do some graphic design. First client came along, set him up, and it was shoo from there. And so I offer graphic design services, which I coupled with event planning because at the faith based setting, I had already been planning events for about 15 years and for a nonprofit organization when I went back to college after 12 years of working for the government. So I just kind of married those two things, my two loves planning events, organizing, right? And creating signature events such as you see the Susan G. Komen. I think this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? And they have
Yes,
a
it
walk,
is.
they have a run. So I create signature events that speak to the heart of your passion. And so
Mm.
one of the events that I created because I've always loved to work with young ladies and through ministry, I created the Princess Within. It was one of the first events, a leadership
Wow.
girls conference, and I've created events for Heart Health Awareness Month because my grandson was born with a hole in his heart, right? So I began to create events that speak to the heart and the passion of people who own a business, whether government agency, whether it's a university, whether it's an individual, right? And so as a result of that, I just kind of married those two things, and I've offered that probably to more than 100 clients over the years, all kinds of graphic design. I just had that sort of brain learning at desktop publishing, and I began to take graphic design when I went back to college as well. So I'm
Wow.
a halfway point toward a leadership degree, excited about returning to school next
Yes.
year, right?
Yes.
Because that's one of the goals that I set for myself. So, but I love seeing business owners soar in their lane of brilliance. And so, what I say I do is I work behind the scenes so they can shine out front, right? So, those things that they have that they need to do for that upcoming event, and ideally for me, it's a client who has their very first event coming up and they, are frazzled. Let me tell you,
Wow.
it can frazzle you. Want it
I know.
right?
I can
You have
imagine.
you got that event coming up and you're like, all right, what to do here, what to do this. Well, I thrive in that area of helping people behind the scenes pull those things together for more than 20 plus years. I currently have a pay hip platform where I have several information products showing either new business owners as a consultant how to do your event or how to get started in business. Just a lot of times, I didn't even have a business name for about 5 years, I think. Just working, working, working like a little worker bee. No business name, no nothing. But I loved doing what I did, which was helping people
Mm.
pull together the piece. I would go to the event just to see what kind of graphic design they needed. And they would, next thing I know, they was pulling me in to help them plan the event.
Wow.
And I'm talking about people like even going to an event for artists, gospel artists, different artists, nonprofit organizations. Um, one of my um, one of my most wonderful experiences was creating substance abuse awareness event for Department of Health and Human Resources, right?
Mm.
Um, and I think that might have been 2013, something like that. And I created some substance abuse awareness events for the agency. That was my first government contract, state of Maryland,
Wow.
right? And I enjoyed that. And then I got a contract with University of, no, not University of Maryland, one of the universities, because I was just sitting across the table in Israel, across from the person who managed contracts for this university. She said,
Wow.
"What? You have a business?"
Mm.
Yep. And I ended up getting a contract with them, designing their brochures. They loved it so much. I used a technique that I had just learned at college. They loved it so much. They said, "We want to come back and just revamp our whole advertising department." I said,
Wow.
he said, "Yeah, we're going to pay you your brochure you did, and we're going to um, talk to an advertising agency because we see some of the new techniques that you use to create our stuff, and we want that." And so yeah, it's been quite a journey, an amazing journey, and I'm loving being with OLBA because it's some for folks who are new to the business arena, and I love just sharing them and motivating them and encouraging them, and finding out where they are in business so that I can say, hey, here's another resource for you. Here's
Yeah.
another opportunity for you. Here's another win-win. I'm all about the win-win. It has to be a win-win. And so you can contact me at daronda.com. I made it simple. I'll just use my first name. And I say duh for D-A and then Rhonda with no H. Daronda. D-A at the beginning, D-A at the end. Daronda.com. And they'll be able to do a free consultation. And I love just hearing sharing ideas and hearing what other new entrepreneurs or seasoned entrepreneurs as well. And I say that because one of the people that I helped create a workshop for weddings, right? She's been in business for 30, 40 years. So whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or new in business, I have gone through the phases of helping multiple. My favorite things to do are red carpets because I love dressing up.
Oh, yes. You
Don't tell
talking
me,
my
don't tell me
language
to dress
now.
up. Don't tell me it's an event going on, right?
You
I
talking
love
my
dressing
language.
up. So my two favorites are red carpets, conferences, well, three, and fashion shows. I love helping to pull together fashion shows. I love helping to coordinate conferences, and red carpets are my absolute favorite. And so I do this because I remember when
Mm.
for the first 3 years in business, I really didn't have anybody to go to. And
Oh.
so I always say Jesus was my CEO. He told me three or four strategies. One was create a referral system,
Mm-hmm. Talk to
which
him.
I
Talk
did.
to him. Give him
If
some
you
tips.
referred
Give him
somebody,
some tips.
if they spent under $100, they got 5% off. If they spent over $100, they got no. If they spent under $100, they got $5 off, something like that. If they spent over $100, they got 5% off. And
Mm.
so that's how I did it back in the day. Flyers were my bread and butter.
Wow.
Okay, and so the other thing that the Lord helped me with is showing up and networking, right? Showing up and networking became to be
Mm.
crucial because in 2 years, I went from working in my basement to having two clients who I work exclusively for. And then when those two contracts ended, I made my first cold call and got a 3-month contract with total stranger at a law firm that was dissolving. I read it in the Baltimore Business Journal, right? Called
Mm.
and said, "Can I speak to such and such?" He said, "They're not here. How can I help you?" Told him what I was calling for. He said, "Well, how soon can you get here?" And that has
You
blown me away, right? And then
mhm.
I began to pray the prayer of Jabez, oh Lord, bless me indeed and enlarge my territory and let your hand be upon me and let me not be tempted to do evil and let me
Yeah.
not cause pain. And I ended up with my own office space 5 minutes from the inner harbor,
Wow.
office full of brand new furniture, right? I'm telling you, if you just stay true to what your
Yeah.
gift and talents are, you're going to make an impact. And your impact, here's the thing, I'm all about the global scene. But if your impact is just down the street and around the corner, you're making impact.
Mm. You better say it. You
You're
better say
making
it because
impact.
so many
You're
people
changing lives. You're aiding transformation. The fact of the matter is just use what you have,
come
and
on now.
somebody's going to be impacted for the better. And so, I do this because I love to see other people soar in their lane of brilliance, just like I was had room to do. And so
Yes,
I
yes.
still do it. I don't do it a whole lot because I'm in my little retirement years. And
Come
here's
on
the
now.
thing, I'm a parallelpreneur. I have a Facebook page that's parallelpreneur because the whole time I've been working for the government, because I did government red tape bureaucracy work, I always did work on the outside of my 9 to 5, things that I
Yeah,
really enjoyed. So I
that's
didn't mind getting up 5 o'clock, it's extremely early in the morning to go travel to DC for 20 something years because I always had my life and my enrichment in my lifestyle beyond that 9 to 5.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
was using these hands, gifts, and talents. I've taught at government conferences. I've taught graphic design at government conferences. I have a teaching that's going to be coming up soon. I've taught students how to just use Microsoft Word, right? How to just use desktop publishing skills, and that turned into a probably a 10-year tutoring program, right?
yes,
It was so
yes.
well received that at the faith-based setting that parents came and wanted to be taught how to use computer skills, right?
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
began to get jobs as a result of that. So that did
That
my
is
heart good.
awesome.
Your
That is
labor is never
awesome.
in vain when you do it with love.
That
Your
is
labor is never in vain. And so I know my time is about, I know it's quick. And so OLB can be an asset to me by letting me continue to soar in my lane of brilliance,
wow.
connecting me with great women who are either starting out in their entrepreneurship journey or have been in it for a while and just looking for strategies, just looking for new opportunities, just looking to connect for the resources. I am I'm resource driven. After being in business for 3 years, people began to come to me, and I was like, "Well, shoot, I don't hardly know what I'm doing. I'm going to help you."
Yes,
But it was
yes,
because I had done that research. I
yes.
was at the library. I was reading those books, right? I was doing those things that enhanced what I already had. And so I
Mm,
still continue to take classes, get certifications. Like I said, I'm going to finish my leadership degree. I'm
yes,
at
yes.
57 credits for the longest
You got
time.
it. You
But
got it.
I
You
want to
got
see
it.
that 120 and I want to see that little plaque on the
You
wall at
got
some
it.
point.
You got it. We
So,
are just so proud of you, and of
oh,
course, it's so much there to unpack, and
yeah.
there is no rush with this. We want to really know the aspects and what you do and who you serve, and you definitely
Hmm.
gave like amazing synopsis of what you do, and
Hmm.
some of the things I pulled from it was show up.
Yeah,
I pulled like you got to
absolutely.
show up. You wouldn't have gotten opportunities had you not been in the room. And so
Thank
many
you.
of
Yeah.
us are waiting for people to
Hmm.
pull us in or waiting to be invited. And also
Hmm.
what I heard is that you created your own rooms, that there was some you
Yeah.
was invited from, there's some that you showed up for, and
Hmm.
there's some that you just created for yourself and for others.
Hmm.
And I think that was such key, and
Hmm.
you keep moving, and
Yeah.
you've operated in both in many different uh platforms, from faith
Hmm.
to government, corporations, and
Hmm.
people need to hear that because the reality is you said at one point you really still had a 9 to 5, but you operated outside of there, doing
Yeah.
things that you love, and you found
Hmm.
the way to monetize these things that you
Hmm.
love and still serving and helping
Yeah.
people. And
Yeah.
that's how you create the business. And it's like,
Yeah.
so when you come to some place like OLBA, where you able to just add on to whatever
Mhm.
is already going on there, and being able to grab that target audience that
Mhm.
is meant for you,
Yeah.
like we have to
Yeah.
know our target audience. And so we're excited. So I want to know, so what exactly, tell, the audience and the people who's going to be watching later on, like, what is it that you do, but within your business with OLBA, like what's your collaboration there?
Okay. I must add that, you got to have some stick to itness, first of all. I remember seeing a young lady, she'd been in business for 3 months. She was ready to hang up her hat and just quit. So what I feel like the women and business owners that I come across the path with through OLBA, I want to be that resource that they can turn to, say, hey, how do I get my EIN? Hey, how do I get my LLC? You know, uh,
Mm,
how can I create some information products from my knowledge base, right?
yeah.
Because guess what? I'm in my learn, earn, return phase. I've learned some things, I've earned some funds from it, and I'm returning and giving back. And so I'm in that return phase. George Fraser is the one who coined that success
I
runs
love
in our race.
that.
He coined
Hmm.
that learn, earn, and return. And I believe that when you give back, you're never at a depletion, right? The
Mm,
more you give back, the more you'll have to offer. And
I
so
love
I
that.
think it's important. One, collaboration is hugely important. As
That's
I went
right.
to these networking events, I might stand in the corner, had my little business card in hand, barely mumbled the words out, but I showed up to that networking event.
That's
Hi, my name
right.
is Daronda McDuffie. I'm an owner of Park Creation, blah, 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 blah. And next thing I know, I went from, like I said, 4 clients, leaving home after 2 years, 4 clients, and mushroomed in 22 months to 64 clients.
Yes,
I don't know
yes,
where them
that's a
people came from.
testimony.
I have no
That
idea where them
is
people
a
came from. But guess
testimony.
what? They knew somebody who had met me
That's
at one of
right.
these events, right? And I would look and seize opportunities where I saw it, like reading the Business Banner article, like going to Emma, eMerlin Marketplace or Merlin.gov to see what
Mm,
contracts are out there, like going to the different resources because they're looking for your business, right?
yes.
Depending on what you are offering. So I've um, what you say, bid on some government contracts for graphic
Hmm.
design, and even ones that I did not get for whatever reason. The fact that I connected,
That's
I'm on their
right.
email list,
So
and
it
I
still was a
constantly
win.
get
It
emails
still
from
was
them.
a win. That's right. That's
I
right.
constantly get emails from them. That's how I find out about what contracts are out there. Because I'm on when I got that contract to do the substance abuse thing for the state of Maryland, I was like, where did I get my email from? Well, from showing up to
Mm,
so many events. I would strategically go to an event that I felt like my people would be in the room who I could really
yes,
network with. I
yes.
remember going into the room and there was political candidates in the room, right? And they were shocked to see me with my little greased up, gelled up ponytail with the bangs, right? Look,
Let's
it was not.
go.
And that political might ignore me, but they didn't know that I knew other people that were already in the room
Mhm.
because I had done a newsletter called the e-zine where I was highlighting different entrepreneurs, showcasing them. So those entrepreneurs were in the room and they would come
Yeah.
over to me, hey girl, how you doing? Because sometimes it would just be electronic. I hadn't met them in person yet. But
Yes.
political standing
Yes.
there with their mouth open, like, oh, I didn't even speak to her. But she know all
Mm,
these people. And it
yes.
was because
Yes.
that was one of the things Jesus, my CEO, told network. And so I met so many people through network. Some of them I'm friends to this day. The other thing, like I said, was create a referral system. The other thing was be the queen of follow up. Hello, I would
Yes.
I would write on the back of the business card. I have a 12-step networking process, right? On the back of the business card, I would write who it was and where I met them and anything that they mentioned that I felt like I could help them with or that they could
Mhm.
help me with. And then in 24 hours, when I got back to my office, I would email them a follow-up and then I kept them on my email list. So if I see an article
Yes.
pertaining to them, I will send it. I still do it to this day.
I
If
love
I
it.
see
I love
bids
it.
that don't pertain to me and might pertain to you, oh, I'm forwarding you. And matter of fact, because I think I sent you one or two,
Oh,
right?
yes.
If I see things, because I believe collaboration is not just, oh, I show up, I shake your hand, can you buy something from me? No, it's down the road beyond that meetup, that
Yes.
initial meetup. beyond that. And so if I could offer just wisdom and knowledge to help new entrepreneurs,
Yes.
you know, skip some of those steps, right? Shorten up, like what they say, system,
Yes.
uh, set yourself up. Wait a minute, save yourself time, energy, and money, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to save yourself time, energy, and
I
money. So I can't say a whole lot more because I know time
It's
is of
okay.
the essence.
It's
But I
okay.
had just had the absolute pleasure of serving as ambassador of Harford County and OLBA and
Yes.
meeting uh, new entrepreneurs as well as those who are seasoned and just seeing them brimming with ideas and having the courage to move forward
Yes.
in those ideas. And that's what I've
Yes.
done for the past 27 years being in business, just having the courage to move forward. Move
I
forward.
love it. I love it. I mean, OLBA is beyond blessed to have you, and not only have you as a member,
Thank you.
but have you as an ambassador, because the
Thank you.
wealth of knowledge that you have to share with your chapter is unbelievable. And
Thank you.
I hope when we air this that they chime in and see the things that they may be missing because they're
Yeah.
not showing up. You know, the
Yeah.
wealth of knowledge that we are giving out and that you're giving specifically to your team is priceless. It is
Thank you.
absolutely
Thank you.
priceless. I was literally just now wondering, like, hey, am I interviewing her or am I taking notes right now? You know what I'm saying?
You
Because I'm
funny.
like, you know, she got it when it comes to this networking thing, and that's really what it's about. And one thing I want to say before we and I want to say I love that you said when you take the business card, how you wrote down some notes on the back of the business card. How many
Hmm.
times have I seen people take business cards and you can't remember anything about this person, and you
Exactly.
actually sat there talking to them and you took the business card for a
Mhm.
reason. We
Yes.
took it for a reason, and you didn't take those notes, and it's just an honor to be able to find out more, have my one-on-one with you. I
Hmm.
want you to just let us know, how do they contact you if you're not a part of OLBA?
Okay. Okay. Daronda.com. Duh. Right.
Okay.
Daronda.com. I also have a page on Facebook. The name of my business, as mentioned, is Quad Creations Events. If I did not mention that, I know I said I didn't have one for like 5 years, but Quad Creations Events is also on Facebook. We also have a page for OLBA Harford County to connect and anybody beyond that is interested in connecting. And it's just what I said, OLBA Harford County on Facebook, and they'll see the logo that you have in your background. And so I'm delighted. I'm delighted. My dream is to do right. My dream to do right now is getting some of the books out of my mind
Mm,
into paper form, even if they're digital. Get some of these books done because I brim with ideas. One of my books is going to be 101 ideas, right? 101 big ideas because I
mm,
can't do all these things, but
I'm
I'm
serious.
brimming with ideas because I'm open to them. And I believe
I
that's why God gives them to me. And I can't do them all. So he's letting me know I need to push them out so that they can go out
somebody else.
beyond
That's
these two
right.
brainwaves, right? All
That's
these
right.
brainwaves
That's
so that
right.
somebody else can take and run with them.
I love it.
Several of the, like I said, one of the ideas was Chic Boutique. They call it the pop up. I did that from 2003 to
Oh, and
2013.
I could
That's what I'm
imagine.
saying. And
It's
so,
hilarious when you can look back on things and you're like, "Oh, I was
yes,
doing that before." And you know
yes,
what? And then God had allowed us to do it, so that and
yes,
then somebody else is gonna run with it. And we gotta look at
yes,
that as that's not a
and
competition, that's an honor because he moved me on to something else, you know, that we
yes.
were able to create something. Well, I'm just telling you, you've heard it right here. Choir Creations right here with Daronda McDuffie, Daronda.com. Okay, when this is aired on all of our networks, you will go ahead and get that information. Deronda, it has truly, truly, truly been a pleasure to have you.
Thank
I can't
you.
wait to have you back for courageous conversations where we can dig deep
Okay.
into
All
some
right.
of these
Oh, here
things.
she go. Here she
Come on
go.
now. Oh, yes, I am.
Yeah.
I'm
We
already
we're
well
gonna
in
do a
in.
chic. We're gonna do a chic boutique on Black Friday. We're going to be
Yes,
teaching Canva because I need somebody else to do these graphic designs.
that's right.
We're having a Canva class. So we're doing phenomenal things through
Yes.
OLBA, and I'm excited to share and be a part of you all's vision. Thank you,
I love it.
everybody.
I love it. It's ours. Thank you so much for joining us. We want to say thank you. Have an amazing evening. And I can't wait to have you back on here, right here
Thank you
with
so
our Sunday.
much.
Thank you,
My
my darling.
pleasure. I would hang on, but I gotta
You got
go.
it. Good
God bless.
night.
Thank
Good
you. Good
night.
night.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here. I want to reintroduce the room. You are here with Mahisa Green, the mental motivator and the COO of OLBA. We are continuing with our Monday winecast and our interviews and podcasts with some of our amazing members, letting us know what they're doing. You've already heard from Daronda McDuffie. I am bringing up so, oh man, I mean, everybody I love, right? But I'm so happy. Y'all don't even understand. I got her online for this interview. I don't even know how this is happening, but I'm glad that it is being recorded so that she can see at 7:26 she's here with me, right? Because this is the traveling queen. But I am here and joined by Miss Denise Laws, and I am so excited. So normally how this goes is literally I'm going to be asking you some questions. You answer them how you see fit. This is not a rush or just because it's time. I want you to just answer how you see fit, and we just want to know more about you. How can we share it not only with the organization but with the public? And so, first and foremost, I'm going to ask you to please introduce yourself and what is it that you do? You on mute?
Okay. That doesn't work, does it? Okay, so I am Denise Laws, BKA, Pure Love here. I am your serial travelpreneur, right? My aim is luxury, but I want to create uh lasting memories. That's my game right there. So I do travel. I'm a travelpreneur. um I also do the business side of travel. I've been most places in the world. I'm still crisscrossing across the country.
All right.
Yeah. It's an amazing journey. I've been a lot of things in my life, but as I was looking, forward to retirement, I said, I've always traveled since I was 16 years old. And so I was looking for, maybe not a career, but how I could travel and make that, part of what I did for the
Yeah.
rest of. And so I happened upon this opportunity and I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely love it. Okay.
Yes.
So I get to travel and I earn at the same time. And yeah, I'm so excited to teach people about time freedom, personal freedom, and financial freedom. Okay. All in,
Yes.
look,
Yes.
all in the sexiest occupation on the planet. Okay.
That's right. That's right. I love how you talked about financial freedom because not only are you offering through your, well, what is the name of your company?
Okay, so I am Empire Legacy Ventures, and under Ventures, it's I operate as Empire Legacy Travel and Lifestyle, and Empire Legacy I'm sorry, Empire Legacy Investments, and
Mm,
Empire Legacy swag, and so that be like T-shirts, mugs, that kind of thing. Any type of merchandise that I'm selling. Yeah.
yes. Wow. So Empire Legacy. I know this question might not be there, but please tell me, how did you come up with that name?
Because Mahisa, for as long as I can remember as a kid, I think maybe at 9 years old, I said to my father that I didn't belong in this world. And he laughed, right? And I was like, no, 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 I'm very serious. Like, I don't think I belong here. I've always knew that there was something greater, like something bigger. And it was centuries, like legacy. So legacy has always been a part of me. And I not to brag or anything, but my family, already has money. I mean, my father raised us to be entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
and so it just wasn't. I had not tapped into the idea of letting go a job, right? I mean, when I was younger, my dad taught us to have our own business. I own my own business, beauty salons and clothing, line
Mm,
and, the
wow.
whole nine. And so I know the world of entrepreneurship. I just was not trained. And my father did the best he could, but I wasn't
Yeah,
trained in legacy. Like, how do you have your money outlast you
yeah,
so that you
yeah. How do
can
you
pass
leave
it?
that legacy?
Right. How
Right,
do you
yeah,
get your children to live off of what you build? And
mhm.
so that's what I was interested in. And when I happened upon this particular opportunity, it was spot on. And, yeah.
Wow, I'm excited. One, I want to say, kudos to your parent, to your dad, specifically. And that's because not many parents would introduce their children to entrepreneurship, and I'm just being honest because it's not seem to be the thing right nowadays. And I'm so honored that in my professional world I'm able to bring that out, not just in women but also in teens and like young adults, that is still encouraging whatever path you choose, but you can also have an entrepreneur side, because I believe we all have some type of gift that can be monetized or could be given back to society. So I'm just wanted to say, like, thank you to like dads like that who remind me of myself. So I've been an entrepreneur just like you since younger and didn't really know what an entrepreneur was. I just knew, hey, I wasn't about to really work for somebody 9 to 5. And if I didn't want to, I had a backup plan when I didn't want to. So I
Yes.
didn't really know about the meaning of entrepreneurship, but I knew I always was like a boss, like I knew, my mom used to say that I wanted to be like the ladies on a soap opera. I don't know
Right.
what them ladies is, Denise. I know it's hilarious. She said I just wanted to wear the dress, right, and drink the little thing they had. I didn't know what it was then, but they would go to the side and pour this little thing and walk around, and they were cute in their heels. And that's all I wanted
Right.
to do with that desk, right? And so I didn't know I was already, building my legacy, and I
Mhm.
love that I have you to help me, build a legacy. That's a dream. That's
Mhm.
a dream of mine. So you talked about three different entities of Empire Legacy, So
Mhm.
you have the travel, you have the investments, and then you have the swag, So who are like who's your target audience? Is it different with all three? Can it be the same person? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, my avatar is very different because in the world, first of all, of travel, you have everywhere from baby boomers to what's the latest genre for young adults? What's the
Look, I'm gonna have to get that ready for the next interview.
yeah.
I have no idea with the Gen
Right.
Z. I'll
So
probably learn it from the next interview. I don't know. You
yes,
and I,
yes.
right?
Yeah, because we talk about that in our business meetings about how every genre, as a matter of fact, the younger genre are spending more money. Now, don't ask me where they're getting it from to travel.
But I seen it
And
on the statistics. I actually
yes,
seen it. Yes.
yes, absolutely. And so I had an interview earlier today with Erica from Harper Sound Studio, and we were
Oh,
talking about how travel relates to self-care. That
mm,
how she's a coach and she says she tries to multitask and this and that. And I said, no, you need to learn how to manage your time because travel is definitely part of self-care. Let's say this. If you haven't been outside of where you were born, where you went to school, where you grew up, and where you got married and had your kids, you are not living. You're really not living. You have not expanded yourself to see all the beautiful things that God have created.
mm,
Seriously. I mean, and sometimes it doesn't mean that you have to go across the world. Sometimes it might be just visiting the next city or
come
three
on now.
cities from
That
New York.
simple. Exactly. To
You
meet
know?
somebody in Maryland who's never been to New York is like psh, to me.
Yes,
I'm so serious. It's
exactly.
mind blowing.
Yes, and trust me, I've run into those type of people, and it's like, oh no, I've never really traveled, but you're not really living. Like you don't really
Yeah.
know what's going on out there. You haven't tasted a different type of food, or I was
Mm,
talking about how in different countries the fabric, feeling the fabric, experiencing the culture. You have to step outside of what you've already known. It really expands your perspective of life. It really does.
wow. I
Yeah.
really agree 100%. I really agree. And you talked a little bit about, why you do the travel, but I definitely want to know, like, why do you do the Empire Legacy investments? Like, what is the drive behind that?
So back to my, story about my parents, they did the best that they knew how with teaching us how to survive and make money. But as far as keeping it and where to put it, what vehicles to use to have it grow or to outlive us, they just did the best that they knew how. And so as I began to get older and learn more about money and how it works, that's what I desire to teach others, that,
Mhm.
okay, now you have the money, it's more to life than things. Right now in our group, we're reading the book called The 10 Distinctions Between a Millionaire and the Middle Class.
Come on.
Okay. And the millionaire is thinking about future. The middle class is thinking about right now, like what outfit am I gonna wear on Friday, or how am I gonna get my hair done next week, or what's cool car am I gonna drive, and if you follow millionaires, they're not flashy. They don't wear, all of this stuff that,
You ain't
we
lying.
think. Erica mentioned this phrase that we talk about a lot, fake it till you
Mhm.
make it. Well, we
Yeah.
construed that statement, and then
We took it to a whole nother level till we fake it till we in the grave, because that's really what we do. I'm sorry. I'm just being honest, right? Like, fake it till, and then you half dead because you
Yes,
passed out because of
yo.
everything you faked it for. Like, baby.
So yeah, so really the faking, what I'm learning in this journey is the faking is really changing your mindset.
Mhm.
Okay, so you may not be a millionaire now, but what is your mindset and what are you thinking about that's not really happening right now that's going to get the needle to move to that millionaire status? That's the faking. That's the
Is it one of those things
believing.
that they say, like, you have to think like the millionaire now, like, think
Oh,
like you have that money now, you dress
right.
like you had, be in that almost character?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And even like, okay, when you said dress, be careful about that because people
Yeah,
just
because I don't want nobody to get the wrong. We ain't saying go out there and fake it and you going to get the Versace Achi and the Gucci Uchi. That's not what we saying. I'm
no,
saying if you're a
no,
boss, you dressing business wise, you looking good, hair done, whatever to make you feel
exactly.
good. You right,
Yeah.
because they've been on like, oh, OLBA said go get the name brand. No, we did not. Come on down to Forever Opulent. It's a lot of stuff there that'll make you feel
Yeah,
real good.
and look, you can even thrift because just
That's a
from
whole
look, the
nother
rich people
world.
get rid of
Okay.
their stuff, so
And
you can find some really nice
okay,
buys,
consignment shops and thrift, talk about it. I don't know why they think we be up here balling. Okay,
Yeah.
like come on. And it's got some good ones here in Harford County, but I'm just saying.
Yes, and even the boutique. I mean, I love it, And so that's the really faking it is your mindset toward, where you want to be in life, in that millionaire status. One of the quotes that I gave her and she cracked up laughing that's in the book was um it says, you want to be winning, not looking. What was it? What was the quote? I'm sorry.
It's all
The
right.
goal is to win, not look like you're winning.
Mm.
Okay.
You
That
bet. I hope they caught that. I'm gonna have to make sure that that's at the bottom so that they can see that the goal is to be winning, not look like
you're
you're
winning.
winning.
Exactly.
That is so real,
Yes.
Denise, because it's some of those things that, Denise, I wish somebody would have told me years ago. When
Mm-hmm.
society tells us that we need to look away, they don't tell you, look, we need to look away. They don't tell you all the things that behind the scenes. And for me, and this definitely is going to be for the next Courageous Conversations podcast, is I
Mm-hmm.
believe that concept of don't look, looking like you're winning is what got our kids, our young adults out here,
Yeah.
just really out here. That's I'm gonna leave it there because I know that's on our Courageous Conversation podcast because that'll take me too deep with these kids. But
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
I agree. I'm
And
I'm so grateful that you are able to do all of these things. And the one thing I knew you for first was the travel, but the investments. And I love how you always teaching people. I can't stand some days that I feel like people miss out, on what you give for free, and that's your gift. That's your gift, that you've achieved some things, and God says go share it with other people, because some of the
Yeah.
knowledge, even what you giving us the name of a book, right? I've never heard of that book. Even with that knowledge, somebody could be paying
Yeah.
$3.99 for this course,
Mhm.
and giving the name of somebody else's book that you are sharing with other people to shift that mindset. And I'm excited. I'm so excited about that. So I'm going to ask, like, so your connection with OLB has been tremendous. It's been game changing to not only have been a member, but to be our global ambassador at a place, on a platform where you're able to really take other ambassadors to the other level. The one thing I say is the engagement is their growth. I know what you can offer, and I believe you are the perfect person to be in that position. And so I ask that if someone's watching and just the experiences that you have with OLBA, what would you say to somebody on how this organization could be an asset to their business or to them?
Oh, definitely. So it's a pleasure and honor to me to say to be the global ambassador for OLBA, because I know that I am the plug. I want to say that I'm a resource person, right? That I think outside the box. I have creative ideas. And so that's what I definitely bring to the table. Janika is like the business matchmaker, but I know that I do sort of kind of the same thing, but I'm able to hear or know when somebody it needs something and find what that thing is and connect them to either the person or the thing that
Yeah,
could help them increase whatever it is that they're always doing, because I don't sell, I give, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And so if a person, had to look at OLB, we say collaboration is a new currency. Well, it's always been the currency. We are people, we are human beings, we are spirit beings living a human experience, and we are supposed to be connecting with one another.
yeah.
Never did God say, you just go out there and be by yourself,
That's
okay?
so
You
true.
know what I'm
That's
saying?
so
And
true.
so OLBA is the culture. It is the new standard for connection.
Mhm.
If you want a sense of community, even whether you're an entrepreneur, a business owner or not, if you need a sense of community, maybe you just need ideas for something that you're already working on, or you desire to own your own business, or maybe you already have your own business and you're looking for partners or people that are like-minded to connect with. This is the place. This,
Come on now.
I mean, I have been in groups and have been, I don't know what Janika say, like in the dark web, looking at people's stuff, trying to see, what they bringing to the table. And I'm telling you,
Mhm.
we are unmatched. You can promote your wares in our online virtual connection. We don't charge you a fee. We don't say, hey, you can only do it on Thursday. We encourage you. You know what I'm saying?
Utilize your resources.
Yes, it's like these gatekeepers. I'm like, did you say that you were a women business group, but you got so many rules that people can't even be free,
Mhm.
right? No, we don't do that. We don't gatekeep, and we support whatever it is you have going on. It's just like I myself, well, I'll look in the virtual connection, and just like my grandchildren needed a tutor. Don't you know I found a tutor right there in the virtual connection online? I saw
Come
a
on
young
now.
lady post that she did tutoring on the side, and I reached out to her. That's what I'm talking about. If you needed somebody who does like our dear Daronda was saying, some type of media or some type of event specialist. You
Mhm.
go right there,
Mhm.
you have it. You have women from all over the world right in the virtual. That's not even a membership. That's not talking about the membership.
Literally,
Because now,
right?
right, that's the value right there. And then when you talk about the membership, you're talking about being able to promote yourself in front of an audience that you did not have to create. And you have a powerhouse full of women who are promoting you and giving your information to other people and
Hmm.
making those connections and sometimes making those connections for you, you
That's
know.
so
And so, yeah, I mean, the education, oh my gosh, don't let's not even talk about the
wow.
education.
Mm,
Get in there, you have people pouring their hearts out about their
yes,
journey and how they made it, and they're giving you those nuggets so that you can take them and use them yourself. I mean,
yes,
it's
yes.
unmatched. I don't know. I haven't seen another girls group or women's group or entrepreneurial group that compares, you know.
Yeah,
I'm
that
saying that
compares for the.
on, yes.
And I know because you're not saying it just because you remember, because one thing I know about you is when I met you, I can't see you being a part of nothing that wouldn't be beneficial to society, not just to you. And you wouldn't be a part of something that wasn't beneficial to society in you. And so that's
Exactly.
just the character that I've met from day one. And so it's always mind blowing as you continuously bring us new ideas and want to expand onto how you sort of be at this global level of ambassadors, knowing we have ambassadors soon to be coming from Jamaica and all these other places. They are
Mhm.
so blessed to have you. And I'm so blessed to have you and to be on this journey with you, because people think just because you are a part of this, or I'm part of the organization or some
Mhm.
acronym of COO that I've arrived, because I surely have not arrived. I'm arriving with that book I'm about to get. First of all, that's where I'm
Right.
arrived. So catch me
Right.
in about 2 years of building this. Catch me in that time. So, Denise, I just want you to let everyone know, like, if they're not a part of the organization, how do they reach you if they want some more information about any of this Empire legacy, from the travel to the investments and to the swag? How do they contact you?
Yeah, so my actual website is empirelegacyventures.intellitravel.com. Very simple. Empire Legacy Ventures dot intella travel.com. And on that site you can book travel, you can get more information, you can book me if you want, just a real quick one-on-one to find out more about the business and how you can become a business owner. My phone number is 667-290-4406. Call me. That's my business line. I will answer. Mahisa will tell you. I'm a busy person,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
definitely will answer, or if I don't answer, I will definitely respond.
Yes, you.
Yes, and so my email also is Empire Legacy Travel with an extra L at gmail.com. Real simple.
We love it. Well, I'm going to make sure that everybody has the information, and all the information is going to be posted. Wow, Denise. I mean, yeah, I don't even know how you do it. Like, I know how, when people say, how do I do it? I'm saying, I don't know how you do it. Because on top of that, you are 90% out of the country. And
Yes.
and people just don't understand the benefit of that. And I can't wait to have this conversation possibly soon with you and Miss Harper in the future, of how we can talk about that connection, and possibly our next guest talk about that combination of travel and self-care. That's my mental part of it. So I would love to be able to have that real conversation panel with some of our travel people and talk about how it connects to self-care, because people need to hear that, because it's not always about going to spend $2,000 on travel. Like you said, it could be just going to the next state. And we want to be able
Right.
to build that into people so that they can be exposed. So I just say thank you for not only being a global ambassador, but for joining me tonight and sharing with us. This is our one-on-one. I can't wait to have you back to have that conversation. It's truly, truly, truly been a pleasure to be by your side and learning all that I'm learning from you, Miss
Yeah.
Laws. So I just thank you so much for this evening, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate being able to be on the show. And I want to also say that, and we are opening Harford County up to the office with maybe you could put out the address for the business center.
For
Um,
Thursday.
Yes, and so people can come there on Thursdays possibly. We are going to meet this Thursday to discuss, and then we'll put out the information on like when we're going to do it, what the time is, and people can definitely get more information. Come by, stop by. You know, we like to give out little hors d'oeuvres and
Yes,
stuff.
we do. We like it. We like fun. Well, you've heard it here, so get
Yes,
ready. Stop
yes.
by for a few. We'll have those dates out. I love that. Get ready because I'm looking forward to meeting with you on Thursday. And so we're gonna take it from there, and we're gonna build in whoever. What we say, we're not looking for people. We're looking for those who are looking for us and looking to grow.
Us, yes.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing what we can continuously do together. Thank you so much for
All
being with
right,
us,
thank
Denise. I'll talk to you
you.
soon.
Okay,
All right. Bye
bye-bye.
bye. Well, good evening. Good evening. We are
Good
coming
evening.
back. Yes, we're coming back. Back here, introducing myself once again. My name is Mahisa Green. I am the COO of Opulent Lady Business Association. This is our wine cast, podcast, and interviews with our amazing members. And I'm so excited to be here. We have had an evening today. So I don't know who's out there, who's watching. This has been exciting. I don't think anybody understands when you put me back on the camera, it's a problem. I can do this all night. I don't know why I'm not doing this at like 10 o'clock at night online. I love, love, love talking to amazing people. So again, I told you who I am. I am joined by the amazing Shantae Sutton. Oh my gosh, so many gifts and talents,
Hi,
right?
everybody.
Going to even try to introduce you. I want you, lady, to let us know who you are and tell us a little bit about what is it that you do.
Well, I'm gonna have a hard time following up Miss Denise because we in the same industry and she hit a lot of my points. But I'm gonna try and follow up somebody so wonderful as her. So here we go. So my name is Shantae Sutton, and I am the owner and operator of Sign Seal Let's Go Travel. That is my main baby of my multiple business endeavors. Um, I also own Sign Seal Let's Go mobile notary service. And I also am working toward trying to what's the word I want to use? I'm working toward building my homestead to be able to help like sell fresh produce and stuff like that in our community, to encourage the importance of fresh food. So those are the three things that are taking up my time nowadays.
I love it. I love it. Well, you talking about those are the things. That's more than enough. Okay, and you travel. I'm in the business just as well, and everybody has all these different trips going on, and people get to choose and see which trips are going on. But I think with yours,
Absolutely.
you also created something called Fly Girl. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes. Okay, so as I stated, so I'm a travel concierge, and I choose the title concierge because a lot of times the term agent seems to now be a little outdated.
I like
People
it.
kind of get it a little negative and stuff like that. So a lot of people use the term advisor. I choose to go with concierge because I don't just book travel for my clients. I cater to my clients. I want to make sure they have an overall wonderful experience from beginning to end, from the consultation call to through their trip and after. So I make sure that I am, at my clients' need, at the service of my clients when they need me. So I feel like I'm a concierge and not just an advisor. So, and
I like that.
if you can't tell, like travel, that's really what is that's my jam. That's my
I love it. I love it. I love how you talked about the difference in names, how travel agent kind of going with the ages, and it's nothing wrong to who's out there and that's what you call yourself. But I love how you kind of reinvented the travel world, and I do a concierge. We know that can be multiple because you do more than just booking trips or things like that. It can include all kinds of stuff, right? So it can include movie tickets. You said you're not movie tickets, theater
movie.
tickets for concerts.
Yes. Yes.
Concerts, yeah.
So like Denise said, like I said, Denise stole my lines. I tell everybody all the time, I'm the plug. I'm your plug because I'm the one-stop shop for all things travel and entertainment. So yes, I do the conventional. I book cruises and all inclusives, group trips, and things of that nature. But then I also do everything to encompass your vacation. So I book flights, I book hotels, I book rental cars, I do if you round trip airport transportation. I do that. If you want to drive yourself to the airport, I book parking spots at the airport.
Well,
I
that's
ask,
yeah, that's different. That's different. And like you said, there's nobody that is the same, because you are the plug for your actual, your
exactly.
actual people, your actual target audience, so you are the plug. So we are a plug for that. I'm the plug for the women in business. You know what I'm saying? So
There you go.
that's
There you go.
we definitely, and being in this business, I'm not doing all of that. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I'm
So
not doing all
I'm
that.
part of the travel. So I'm just
Exactly.
telling you, you can book a trip, and it's most likely a trip that I'm going on. So I'm just saying, like, I'm not the travel plug. So I'm sending them, so I ain't even gonna sit here and
You the
sit
girlie
here
that's
and
like,
hold
book my
nobody at
trip,
this
get me
point.
some air. Yeah, you like book a
I'm
trip.
like,
I
book
need
my
the
trip, and
airport
whoever want to come with
transport.
me, that's it. That's it. Don't
That be
ask
like
me
book it.
about no parking. Don't ask me about no extra what you said, the activities, none of that. Do that when you get there. I'm good. But yeah, that's where I'm at. But I love it. I love it.
And that's
I
what I
heard you
offer to
say, if
my
I'm not
clients.
mistaken, that yeah, that's your main thing. That's what you do. But one thing you mentioned was that you also are notary. Like, to me, that's like that's really big right now too, like being a notary. So tell me about that. Like, what made you start that, and what do you plan to do with that?
So I guess we're gonna have to talk a little backwards. I actually started Sign Seal Let's Go Mobile Notary first. That was my first
Oh,
business.
wow.
That was my first business, and I got into that just as as a way to get myself into entrepreneurship. Just a little bit of personal stuff about myself. I haven't been in the working world for almost 13 years due to some physical disabilities. So I wasn't able to work. And in our political climate and such, these last couple of terms have been a little shaky. So your girl was like, you know what? Yeah, I worked and I earned my disability and all of that, but they might snatch this away. So I need to figure out my own, like because it worked for me when it worked because my children were young. So even though I hated being home, it gave me the opportunity to be the best mother I could be on my kids. I didn't have to have my kids in daycare. I was able to be home after school. I was able to go to school events and stuff like that. But now my kids are all grown. My baby is 19. So it was like, okay, so Shantae, what are we gonna do for Shantae? It's time for me to figure out who Shantae was again. And so I started looking into what could I get into to start my own business. And I've always been a person that liked to serve my community or be of a help to people in some kind of way. So that was the first thing that I thought of. I was like, okay, I could try being a notary and aspire to be a signing agent. So it started with the notary business. And then as I started to travel, more, which is hilarious because that's one of my hashtags, travel more. Um, I began to travel more probably about 5 years ago because my kids were getting older, so I was able to start taking trips and stuff like that. And I've always been a person that wanted to travel. He said, you and I both were from Brooklyn, so we city girls. And it was like, I've always wanted to be able to go places and do stuff and all this kind of stuff. And once my kids got of age and I started traveling, it just like opened my eyes. Like it was so awe-inspiring to see these places, these different places, these different people, the food, the culture, the history. And it was just really, it moved something in me. Like I think that the beauty that God has created on this planet is insane. And I feel blessed every time I have the opportunity to go somewhere new and experience those things. Um, I know Miss Denise said she's like worldwide and whatnot, but we all have our little niches. And for me, cruises and international travel was like my niche. That's like the thing I really like to work with. And being on the ocean, just being able to be on the ocean and just sit with yourself and just look at that vastness. It's amazing. And some of those times when it's late at night on the balcony and I realize I'm going through the middle passage.
Mm-hmm.
And I realize I'm going through the middle passage. You know what I'm saying? So it's a connection there. And it's just something that you wouldn't experience. Like you and Ms. Denise was talking about, self-care and all of that kind of stuff. I realized it really was healing for my mental and my well-being. So it really motivated me to want to look into travel more. So like I'm really a nerd. So when I go on vacation, I'm on YouTube and I'm researching, I'm watching videos about the destination and watching research videos about the ships and all of this stuff. What is there to do on this ship and what is there to do at this location? I'm that person. And I realized I'm that person for everybody.
I like it. I like
I realized I was that person for everybody. So I was like, when it's free. And when it's free, not that I have a problem sharing information, but I'm like,
why not monetize off it?
Exactly. I could be doing this as a business.
I think I can relate 100% with that.
Because we all know when you're doing something that you love, it feel like work.
Yeah. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
I feel like I'm working.
I hope one day I can have you on the conversation on how I connect the travel to the mental health, to the self-care, to that kind of thing, because it definitely is very much real. One thing I kind of heard you talk about is cruising, right? And even that, I wanted to just bring out that's also, like I said, if we talked about, there's several other, travel agencies that, as many we can go to. And it's like you just defined yourself, as far as your niche is cruising. And so really understanding the definition behind cruising, that's your thing, that's your plug, that's what you're the plug at. So
yes,
if anybody's out there watching, you know what I'm saying? Like if you know a lot about cruising, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe you're going on one soon. Am I correct?
Yep, I'm leaving you guys on Saturday. I leave Saturday. I'll be on a Margaritaville cruise. I'll be on the Islander on Sunday for a week. We're going to Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Cozumel, all locations that I've been to at least 4 or 5 times before.
That's all right.
I love it. And I'm going in my agent capacity. It's one of the perks of being an agent.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome rate, $50 a night for a balcony suite. So that's one of the other perks of, being a travel concierge. I get to do what I love. I get to, I get incentives. So either, of course, this is a business, so I either earn my commission or I get really discounted rates as a travel concierge professional. So that's definitely a bonus.
Either one is a win-win, man. It's a win-win no matter what on why people should be contacting. If you into cruising, like come on out to you and learn some more information. You have you have groups that you give people information on. I've seen them, I've witnessed it. I know how excited and serious you are about utilizing this as a part of your self-care for you, especially with having older kids. And I think sometimes we get away from remembering to kind of narrow down and tell the story about, just how you said it. We have to tell the story about how we got into it because people need to hear that. And that's not that I want to back up, but I did want to tell them what I heard and what I pulled from that, which was, due to, reasons that are beyond our control, you were not able to work. So I have to pull that out. And, we don't have to go into that, but you were not able to work. But instead of you staying in that space, instead of you sitting there moping, complaining, angry for whatever reason, you chose to go beyond that and start first the notary, finding something that was like, okay, I can pass this test. I can still be assistance to my community. I can do this, and I can grow this into something, and then moving on to something else while still utilizing it and keeping them both up. So I wanted to pull that out for somebody who's watching, that you may be sitting there and there may be a reason for whatever that you can't work, but that does not mean you need to sit in that bed. That does not mean you
Absolutely.
need to sit in that depression or sit in that anger for whatever reason you're not working. There's always room for entrepreneurism, and
Absolutely.
I'm very
Absolutely.
grateful that you brought that out because somebody I feel like is going to watch this and need
I'm
to hear
glad you
that.
make that point because it can be hard, and especially when you're in a position, for whatever reason, where you have to find yourself out of the traditional working system. And when that's most of us are raised, you grow up, you get a job, take care,
Yep.
and then when you find yourself in a position where you can't do that anymore, a lot of people, for a lot of us, that can be really difficult. It was difficult for me initially,
Yeah.
so. But I'm glad that God gave me enough grit to be like, you know what? Okay, this was cool for what it was. It gave me the opportunity to be there for my babies. But now my babies ain't babies no more. So what we gonna do now? And
Yeah.
I, I'm glad I was able to get two businesses that I can tie together. So ultimately, my goal is to now I'm a sole proprietorship. My goal is to ultimately become to create a corporation via LLC, and it'll be signed, sealed, let's go incorporated. Because with the notary, I use that in my travel business sometimes. Sometimes people need documents notarized for
Yes, absolutely.
for like their passports or whatever, different things for travel. So I'm able to incorporate those two businesses together. And so that's ultimately my goal. And I have a lot of little offshoots. You mentioned earlier, I started a ladies only travel group, of which you are one of my lovely members.
Thank you.
So I started Fly Girl Travel. It's a ladies only travel group that is hosted through my business, Sunset Let's Go Travel. And for me, the focus of that group, it really came from being a member of OLBA, quite
Wow.
honestly. Um, I was sitting down having one of those powwows we have with Jonica.
That's
And,
right.
she was sitting there, she was talking with me about trying to think of ways to help promote my business and, ways to try and monetize and things like that. And she was telling me, you need to use your garden as a tool to tie it into travel. Because you need to see things like in 3D or something.
Yeah. I'm glad
And
she's my partner. I'm so grateful and honored to have her as my partner. That's
she's
that yin to
amazing.
my yang.
Absolutely. And she was helping me see, like, she was like tie my garden into, and I didn't even think about the fact, like, because I talked to you about my homestead and all the different stuff I grow. I didn't think about the fact how I grow a lot of foreign stuff. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because of the places I've been
Yeah,
and
the
I ate this
inspiration behind your garden is through your
right.
travel.
Exactly. So I might have seen something somewhere, what I was there to experience in person or just in my research for travels, and I might have seen a particular vegetable or something, and I'm like, oh, that look good. I want to grow that.
I
And
love that.
she's like, try and find a way to monetize it. So we were just, we were brainstorming, and I was telling her, I need to start trying to find a way to bring in more revenue. And then she was like, well, let's talk about. She was like, are you want to do groups? And we came up with Fly Girl Travel group
Yes,
together. So she helped me come up with that.
I
And
love that. I love that.
by OLBA, not only did she, help me, we walked through that journey together, but being a member of the organization, it really helped me as to how the foundation of what I wanted the group to be. So yes, it's a ladies only travel group at its core. That's what it is. Yes, but it's so much more than than that. Like I told you with the notary, I've always wanted to be a person that can service my community some kind of way,
Mhm.
give back to my community some kind of way. So I want to, I'm sure we all on social medias, we see the different travel groups and such. And but you don't get to meet those people until you go on the trip.
I like that.
And to me, that just seemed a little. It was just like it's nothing wrong with that, but to me, I'm a very personable person, and so I wanted to create a ladies travel group that focused on in-person gatherings to give
Okay.
us a space where we can get together and you can actually get to know and grow relationships with your fellow fly
Yeah.
girl,
Get your
you
fly
know,
girls.
and we build bonds. And so these are actually be a sisterhood. I wanted to foster a community of sisterhood and support and encouragement in travel, but just in general. I wanted it to be a
Yeah.
safe space. We could, after we finish planning the trip, we could sit here, we could kiki, we could talk, we could cry, whatever we needed to do. But I wanted to create that space, that safe space for women, because as women, we tend to carry so much that we need to just have those spaces. And as a travel concierge, I have to pay attention to what's going on and whatnot. And kidnappings are going on the rise. So with solo women and especially women of color. And of course, my group is not closed off to any race of women, but of course, I'm always going to. My first focus is always going to be women who look like me. We are the first ones to go missing and the last ones looked for.
Mm,
So it was important to me to have a group where we all know each other, because if you know each other, you hold more value for that person's life,
I like that.
and to make sure that we keep each other safe when we're away.
I really like that. And you kind of opened up my horizon for a topic for courageous conversations. When I start that, that podcast is coming soon. And you talked about, the fear of traveling, and especially for women of color. And I'm looking forward to digging deep into that. So I want you to think about that. I'm hoping that I can have you back to be able to dig
Absolutely.
deep. And like I said, as I was talking to my last guest, having travel agents around who can share with us this insight, one, to just educate us, because I remember you recently giving some tips, about traveling, and I'm not going to get into it, but I'm looking forward to that. But I can't wait to hear the different places that we've been. But one, to educate us on the things that we should be doing and could be doing, whether it's prior to, while we're there, going home, but also to remove the fear of traveling when we are, one, like you said, joining a group. um you know we don't always have to travel with the group. It's a beautiful thing, but you're joining a group that's able to educate you, book your trips, and have that person, and to remove the fear, because there's many people that I meet who are afraid to travel for everything that's going on around the world. And if I had stopped my travel because of that, I would have went nowhere. So I can't wait to dig deep. So I want you to keep that in mind, and I'm going to make sure that you know we reach out to you to get that going, because these courageous conversation titles are coming left and right. And I'm like, I guess I'm going to be up here. Like, I guess this is what I'm going to do coming in to the new year, doing our
That's what
introduction.
happens when you got a group of women that know their crafts and know
Literally.
and
And it's exciting, the things that we can do together. And like, that leads me right to, my next question, and one of the last before I ask you about your information is, you are with Opulent Lady Forever Opulent, as it's ironic that you are literally the store's tour guide, kind of what we call you, and you happen to be, right, like a travel
exactly.
concierge,
I
and you
think
take people through the store. But you've also had experience with us, with the company, with the organization, the association. So if somebody was listening and hearing a little bit about your journey thus far, how can you tell them that you believe that maybe OLBA can be an asset to them in any way?
that's why I'm always singing the praises of the organization. I'm always telling any woman that I know that has any type of business venture, or if I feel like she might be interested in, I'm quick to be like, well, I'm part of this great ladies organization. So you would think I'm the COOO, the up because I'm always typing it out. But I definitely would tell people that I think it's a wonderful organization. Like, you know, when it comes to women, and if we're going to be perfectly honest, as women, we can be catty, we can be backbitey and stuff like that. So it's hard sometimes to find organizations, groups, clubs, what have you,
Mm-hmm.
where you find women that genuinely are about their business and are about uplifting and supporting one another. And I'm not saying nobody don't ever get an attitude with nobody, or people might not have disagreement,
The real talk.
because we're human. I just had a moment the other day. We talked about it and we kept it pushing. You know, but that's life. That's real life. But it's who you are. What type of woman are you when you have these issues? Are we able to be women and admit our faults, admit our wrongs, apologize, and still move on and conduct ourselves professionally? I've never been around a group of such professional, pleasant, supportive, uplifting women. And I really needed that. I really needed that in my life. Um, it's been so beneficial to me being able to be a part of the organization. Like Miss Denise was saying, I have not seen any other groups where you're able to, be a member and promote your business and do all these other things, and it doesn't cost you anything additional other than your membership
Mm,
fee. You know what I'm
mm.
saying? Like you said, I'm the tour guide for the boutique, and that is a storefront. So I am basically the person that is there, the front desk person, so to speak, or whatever. But I still am given the grace to be able to sit there at the desk when it's calm and do my own work. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You're not gonna like that's paramount. That's crazy. Like, you don't how many opportunities do you have where you can be involved or working for someone and they still allow you to put your business as the main focus?
Yes.
So that's amazing. And it's just to be able to have all these women and everybody does something great. So it's like
Mm.
you don't have to go too far when you need something. Like Miss, again, back to Miss Denise. She was looking for something for her grandkids. She went in there and looked. We have our lovely resident photographer, Miss Tiara, and setting up with her to book my professional photo shoot, because she's doing all the professional photo shoots for all of us ladies. And talking to her, I realized how much she and I had in common, and then found out, oh, well, She does social media management. Guess what? What have I been complaining about, Mahisa? I can't do all of this
Yeah,
social media.
you can't do all that social media stuff. Absolutely.
Like, I can't out all this social media stuff. She do social media management. I'm like, I need somebody to launch my YouTube page. That falls into, so it's all right there. It's like it's always what you need is always just a step away. You always
Yeah.
got a sister right there to help you out, and everybody is not always just about money. I mean, we are all in business to make money, but we all, I tell people all the time about my services, but I definitely think it applies to OLBA. Value is what you get,
Mm.
not what you pay.
Ooh, you better come on. You better come on.
And this has definitely been a value. It's been a value to me
We
in so
appreciate
many ways. The opportunities, when you guys stuff like this, being able to sit and do an interview like this, and who knows, it could be one person watch it, it could be 1,000 people watch it, but I'm getting free exposure. You understand what I'm saying? Be able to host my groups
That's
from
right.
the boutique. I also do there's a networking side to my business, same as Miss Denise, so I try, I encourage people to gain their financial and free independence, time independence.
Mm-hmm.
And if I need to, I host travel parties to try to introduce other people to this business.
Yeah.
I'm able to utilize that space. So it's just been a blessing on top of the fact meeting all these beautiful, lovely women, getting to be a part of a sisterhood, feeling like I'm in a space where I feel loved and I'm welcomed and I'm
Yes.
appreciated and vice versa. So
Yes. Yes. That's an honor. I think that's like the most wonderful way to end this segment, because you said so much, but you also gave it, I heard it from the heart, like to be beneficial, to add on a sisterhood, but to be part of an association where you feel like you don't have to feel like you are below. You don't have to feel like you're somebody else, a place that you feel seen, appreciated, supported, no matter what, a place that you talked about, value is not about the price, it's about what you get. And I always say, your engagement is your growth. And the more that you're around women, who are about their business, you will tend to truly see that this is exactly where you need to be. So I just want to say, before I end this segment, I mean, please tell, you know, let us know, for those who are not part of the organization, let them know, how do they reach you? I'm gonna call you the cruise plug. So I'm just saying, I just made that one up, but I
all
need to
right,
know, like, when I put this out,
see my
she can do
background,
it
right? You
all.
see
Don't
my
get
back.
me wrong. She can do it all. But when I tell you this girl cruises, she is the one that you want to contact for cruises. But how do they reach you? Like, how do you let them know?
Okay, so
Like, how to reach?
we got a long list, but we gonna walk through it.
Okay,
So
don't
you
worry, because
can
I'll get the list and I'll make sure it's posted. But right now, you let us know.
okay, so you can always contact me by phone at 443-484-8255. My business hours are from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And just give me a ring. I'm always gonna take the call. If for some reason I'm unable to take the call, I will definitely get back to you in as speedy as possible. Feel free to text as well. I'm also available on WhatsApp, all the social messengers. You can, follow me on my social media sites. So I am on Instagram and Threads at SS, and these are SS like Sam, SSLG Travel, all lowercase. So and that's on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. On Facebook, it is all caps SSLG, then a space, and then the word travel, all uppercase. You can also from the Facebook page, you can find the Fly Girl Travel Group. So you'll be able to find that. Membership is free to join Fly Girl Travel. All you have to do is have a passion for travel and an open
Yes.
heart, and answer the introductory questions.
Answer them.
Yes, my email is ssletsgotravel@outlook.com. Let's see what else. Uh, I'm sure I'm missing something.
That's all right. You gave
there's
us a
so many.
mouthful. There's
Yeah,
no way
it's
that
about.
nobody can
Oh,
reach
how could I
you.
forget? How could I forget? So if you are in a rush, and you don't feel like all the chatty, you can always go to my website, which is signed SINGNED, sealed SEALED, let's go, LETSGO, travel, TRAVEL, .intellitravel.com. So that is my
Yes.
website, and you can go there if you just want to do it quick on your own. You can go in there and book your flights or cruise or whatever have you. I also have links on all of my social medias and whatnot. I also have a dedicated link, vendor link with Shore Excursion Group. So I am able to sell cruise excursions at about 40. They typically about 40% off what you would typically pay through cruise lines. And they insure your return to the cruise ship, or you get $1,000. And they take
Mm.
care of all your stuff to make sure in the process of getting you back to the ship. Um, and make sure you follow me on all the socials. I do. He was talking about I get tips and advice. I do
Yeah.
Travel Talk Tuesday every Tuesday. I do a Travel Talk Tuesday where I would give you a nice little sit down on a topic or quick little tips and stuff. So a lot of gems. I've been dropping a lot of gems.
Yes. Well, Tuesday is tomorrow. So Taco Tuesday for some, Tasty Tuesday, Talkative Tuesday. I can go on and on with Tuesday, but she's going to be giving you some tips tomorrow about traveling. I just want to say I cannot wait to have you. You mentioned something else that I can't wait to have you back for that segment. So now you got my mind working about the travel agents I'm going to bring because you talked about insurance. So I'm going to leave that there because I can't
Yep.
wait to really talk about that and really talk about my experience when it's something that we don't click the button for because we don't want to pay the extra $5. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I'm
Hey,
talking about. But I can't
hey,
wait to talk about my experience with going to Paris and how that saved my life for an extra
oh no.
$37. But I can't wait to talk about that. But thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. There's no words
Thank
I can
you for
say.
having
I
me.
pulled so much out of you. And for me, this was the great way to kind of end my segment on how we're going to go ahead and bring this in to some type of part two, some kind of travel world. We're going to come up with a funky little title, right? When we come back with these courageous conversations about what's really going on in the world and how we can still continue to travel and feel safe and also attend to our self care. So I just want to say to those who are watching, man, I just been joined by first Daronda McDuffie, second Denise Laws, and now Miss Shantae Sutton of SSLG, signed, sealed, Let's Go Travel Agency.
That's
I am
right.
so honored to have you here to tell us about so much and how you've been doing and how other people can get exposed to this business. And again, you all know from tonight, I just named her the cruise plug,
I'm the
period.
cruise plug,
On that,
period.
in case all don't get it twisted, but when it comes to a cruise, you want to speak to an expert, and she is your expert. So again, right now, you are sitting here talking to Mahisa Green, the COO of Opulent Lady, your mental motivator, and I am here on an Opulent Winecast, interviews and podcasts with our amazing members tonight. It's been an amazing evening. I am so honored to be back on the screen, sharing what we have going on. We have grown tremendously, and it's people like we had tonight that is assisting us with growth as we grow together. One thing we always say is my partner, Janika Lynch, is not here on the podcast. This is what I do. But I can't wait for her to join me. But Janika Lynch, the CEO of Opulent Lady Business Association, always says what? You are 4 minutes and 59 seconds away. Do not give up. You have so much going on. You are truly amazing. I want to say thank you to all who will be watching this now or later on. I want to say shout out to my guests tonight and thank you all for joining us on the Opulent Lady Winecast. And we can't wait to see you next week. See you.
Bye.
Good night. Night, night.
Night, night.